Hello everyone. Let's start with few important things that are very useful in when you draw anything or wanna give textures, or even if you do fabric painting. These are the common techniques which I try to discuss all in one, and mostly I'll try to cover all the topics here. So let's begin with the most fundamental one, which is lines. Lines can be anything. They can be straight lines, they can be zigzag lines, there can be curved lines, and lines can take many forms. They can be broken lines. These all are the different types of lines which can you use in drawing, in filling the surfaces, or doing any other thing. They can be vertical lines, there can be horizontal lines, and there can be crossed lines. But lines are very important in doing any textures, fillings and drawings. Second thing can be as simple as that, anything that you want to do with dots, that is called as stippling. Many example, if you want to fill these any shapes with this kind of dots, it is called as mostly stippling, and it looks very good texture once the distance, the size, everything, the size of the dot can also vary in stippling depending upon your preference. And this is also one of the amazing ways of doing this textures or lines, and can give you a very good texture in any of your drawings or your paintings. Another one which is often described as, if you scribble something in a circular fashion, the circling or the scumbing as it is called, and generally if done little meticulously, it seriously gives you a very refined look in whatever fillings you wanna do, and you wanna show in a different pattern than your lines and your stippling. Next one can be hatching. Hatching generally takes the form of lines which start at one end, with little press, and then you leave it to the other end without any pressure, kind of strokes. And that is why this filling technique is called as hatching. In this, you can also have the cross hatching. Cross hatching generally takes the form when you actually do the hatching, when you cross it. So when you take any other directions into the same and you cross it, it becomes the cross hatching. Generally this also gives a very sophisticated look, especially when you do something in freehand and want to show the direction. For example, if you're doing the fashion garments, you want to show sometimes the stiff fabrics and the texture onto it, like denims and all. You can use hatching and cross hatching. So this is also very important. Just wanted to show once with the pencil so that the strokes can be understood. You can do it with anything, any color medium, anything. Another important concept is generally the most important concept, which I feel is shading. Now, taking the same pencil, if you put light and dark or pressurize certain moments so that it becomes darker, this is generally shading, wherein you want to show the light and dark parts. If I apply a little bit more, especially you can do the shading with 2 or 3 color pencils, or you can do with the 2-3 colors, any medium that can be light and dark of the same. And if I want to use only one pencil, then I have to play with the pressure that I'm using over here to make some parts light and some parts darker. As soon as I apply more pressure, it becomes little darker, and you can play with the shading concept very well in all your drawings. You can have light, more light. There cannot be only 2 shades into this. You can have, according to your pressure on the lines, you can create a number of shades. As you go ahead with the gray scale, you can find out the same thing can be applied to any color, from the basic light colors or the tint of the colors to the darkest shade of that color, and you will find a number of textures and patterns and colors into shading. So shading can be very light to very dark, or a mix of combination of different tints and shades of the same hue. At last, I just want to discuss one more important concept. There are so many, but let's discuss on certain important into this video. So there is a one concept which I liked very much, which is called as negative painting. Negative painting, the concept is such that you generally don't paint the shape which is given onto the paper, but you try to paint everything alongside, and you just leave that place as per the shape. And this is the concept. Without the original shape being filled, you can still fill the exterior space with that shape, and your shapes gets highlighted. This is called as negative painting. So there are many more techniques of doing the textures or filling or drawing. So please like, subscribe our video and comment on our techniques so that we can give you further techniques in the next video. Thank you very much.